Hello everyone, welcome to Word Processing Tutorial, Lesson 2. We will be covering formatting features of Word 2007 in this lecture. Mainly formatting text, paragraphs, and borders and shading. Many of the formatting options can be found under the Home tab of the ribbon. The ribbon is, as you recall, is separated into different groups. We will look into them in detail. Font group commands. You can use the Home tab for quick formatting, bold, italic, underline buttons, or drop-down menus for font type and size, etc. If you click on the arrow next to the underline button, you will see that there will be more underline options that you can use instead of a solid line. If you click on the dialog box launcher, all formatting options will be found inside these dialog boxes, as well as the ribbon, as you can see. In the font dialog box, as you can see at the top, we have the font group, which is already selected, and we have another tab, which is character spacing. We will talk about both of them. In the font tab, you have some options that are already included in the ribbon. In addition, for example, in the underline style, you have these different options. Plus, if you select one of them, this will also activate for you the option that you can change the color of the underline that you are using. Plus, the effects right in the middle: small caps, all caps, shadow, outline, emboss. As you can see on the preview screen at the bottom of the dialog box, will also display for you the effects of the selections that you are making. Let's go on to character spacing. Character spacing will allow you to choose the spacing option, which is by default the normal, but if you click on the arrow next to it, you will see that it can be expanded, and you can indicate by how many points that you would like to expand it. As you see again, as usual in all the dialog boxes that will appear in front of you, in the preview screen, you will be able to see the effect of the selection that you have made. The text that you have written or applying this command to can be expanded, or vice versa, it can be condensed by, again, with this many points that you change by clicking on the scroll bar arrows. Or you can type directly over it if you wish to do so. And expand it, and you will see in the preview screen how it looks like. You can change the position. It can be raised or lowered relative to the line you're typing, like a subscript or a superscript, but the text involved will be made up of many characters. In the font group, highlighting is an option. Use highlighting sparingly. It can draw attention to important areas of your document. Let's type some text in here. I can also show you one more thing. If you write equal to, or put an equal to sign, and write rand and put parentheses and press enter, you will see that you are provided with arbitrary text. The fonts, or the way it looks, is due to the fact that we had made some changes previously on the font dialog box. But we can now select them all and make the changes that we would like to happen. Let's say we'd like to select this one and make it, instead of these different characters, let's get rid of the underline. Let's say we would like to have a straight underline, or we would like to get rid of the underline altogether. And in the dialog box, remember, in the font group, we had clicked the emboss effect and the all caps effect. Let's get rid of them. And remember, in character spacing, we had expanded it by really exaggerated by 6 points. So instead of 6 points, let's revert back to normal. Remember, we can type over it also. We'll write just 1 and press OK. You will see now it looks more like the usual typing that we normally do. In here, now we have a paragraph in front of us. Let's go see the paragraph commands. The paragraph commands are in this group right in here. You may want to have this paragraph aligned to the left, like it is already. Or you may want to have it aligned to the right. Or you may want it to be centered. Or you may want it to be justified. Justified, as you can see, spreads the text both on the left and the right so that the words are evenly distributed. This is the way we normally write in more formal documents so that the end result looks more appealing and more presentable. Let's say that you are producing this document for your communication teacher or for someone to write commands in between the lines. You can use this button in here, which is going to give you line spacing. If you click next to it, you will see that you can have normally 1 point, or you can have double spacing, or you can even increase it more. Let's revert back to a single spacing again. I would also like to mention for you that we can have displayed what we call the show and hide button, which is going to display for us the formatting marks or the non-printable characters. As you know, when we are typing in Word, let's zoom a bit so you can see it better. As you know, when we are typing in Word, or if you don't know, just make a good note of it and don't forget it. When the end of the line comes, Word, for example, let's keep writing in here something that we just doesn't make any sense. As you can see, Word continues to the beginning of the next line without me having to press the Enter key to jump to the beginning of the next line. This is done automatically for you. Don't ever, when you come to the end of a line, press the Enter key so that you start typing in the next line. Unless, of course, like this line in here, which shows the end of the paragraph, you would like to finish the line before the allowed space or the allowed characters is exhausted. Then you click the Enter key so that the paragraph ends and what you write will start to be typed from the beginning of the next line. Let's select this next paragraph and change the color of the text. Let's make it red so it's easier to read. And let's also go ahead and highlight this. Or let's select a couple of words, easily change. Let's say we would like to emphasize this, and let's highlight these. These are some of the colors that are available for us to highlight the text that we are typing. Okay, to come back to the formatting marks again, there are several formatting marks that tells to the computer, like this one, the end of paragraph, which never get printed, but it tells to the computer how to print and how to change the features of your document. Okay, we talked about alignments. We can also talk about indents. Let's say that this next paragraph that we are using, let's get rid of the underline so it's more clear to see. Okay, let's click on the underline. As you know, these buttons are toggle buttons. You click them once and you get rid of them again. And then in here, this is also expanded, but you would like to assume that you would like to draw some attention to these sentences. So you can have an indent for it. Indent means these are the margins on the right-hand side and on the left-hand side. Let's zoom out again so that you see the whole document. And as you can see, we have margins at the top on the right and the left. But let's say that you would like to emphasize this paragraph more and you would like to give some indent to it. So if you click on this, you will see that you will be able to create some indent to it. Let's say you would also like to have an indent on the right hand side, let's go ahead and click the paragraph dialog box. As you can see in here, you have at the middle left and right indents. The left indent is 2.5 centimeters. If you want to change the right also, similar to that, let's make it 1.5 centimeters. Then say OK. This is what will happen. As you can see on the right hand side, there is a ladder-like look when none of the lines are aligned, in a vertical way. So if you would like to change this, make your selection again, go to the alignment option and click the justify. After we have done this, it is possible to give shading on the background or put borders around it. Let's say we would like to put some borders around it. Let's select this paragraph once again. And on the second line on the right hand side in the paragraph group, there's this option which is going to allow you to put borders. You can either select the available options from this drop down menu, like we can have a bottom border, or we can have a top border, or we can have all borders, or you can actually go to borders and shading, and in this option you will see on the preview screen what kind of a border you have placed. Let's select the box border, and more also we would be able to select the style of the frame that we are using. Let's say we would like to have double lines, and then we would like to change the color also. Let's make it a blue color, and we can change the width of the border that we are using. Let's make it 1.5 point width. And sometimes when you put borders around certain text, and as you can see it's applied to a paragraph, you have other choices. You can apply only to text, meaning that you select a couple of words from the line and apply the border only to that, not to the whole paragraph. But then with options, sometimes when you write the text and put borders around it, it looks as if the borders that you have drawn around the text are going to suffocate the text inside it. It means that you need more space between the text and the border you have placed. So click on the options and go in here in the dialog box that opens for you. From text, you would say on the top, you would like to have increase the width, increase the size of blank space, and make it 4 points. From the bottom, you'd like to have 4 points. From the left, 4 points. From the right, 4 points. You can preview it in the screen again, and when you say OK, you will be able to see the end result. If you click outside, now this is how it's going to look like. Furthermore, we can put some shading on it. Instead of highlighting like this, we can also put some shading on it. So let's go to this icon, this button again, and click on the arrow next to it and select the option on the drop-down menu which says Borders and Shading. In Borders and Shading, the last option is shading itself. There when you come and you can click on this arrow again. By this time you're aware that whenever there's an arrow, if you click on the arrow, it's going to provide for you more options that you can make selection from. So if you click in here, and you will see different colors applied, different colors available. When you hover over these color palette, you will see that when I come with my mouse pointer over each and every one of them, there's a label associated with it. This one, it says red, accent 2, lighter 60%. And in the next one, red, accent 2, lighter 40%. The other one is darker 25%. So this is the way the colors are labeled in Word 2007. And the ones at the bottom are standard colors. So let's choose a standard color, which is going to be, let's choose a pale color. Let's choose one of these red accent 2 lighters 60%. So this is what we have applied to the paragraph. Again, you are seeing the end result in the preview screen. Continue to the next tutorial to learn about this new concept called styles. Styles group is also in the Home tab. This concludes Word Processing Tutorial Lesson 2 Formatting Part 1. I hope this tutorial was helpful, and it's now time for you to practice what you have learned throughout the lecture. See you in the next lecture soon.